Hello and welcome to Hank Games without Hank. It's me, John Green, playing FIFA. Of course, today we are Swindon Town, the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers. We're playing Southampton, former Premier League side, now down in League One. I think they're up to the championship now, but this game's a little bit behind. So, we are Swindon Town. We've got John Green and John Green up top. Other John Green and Bald John Green. We've got D. Lucas in goal. Some people are writing some great chants about both Other John Green and D. Lucas. We'll see if I can remember them. Today I'm going to tell you stories about when I was in high school. I went to a boarding school in Alabama, and I'm going to tell you a boarding school story. It was requested by several people. So thank you for your requests. Please keep them coming. That is how I decide what to talk about in these videos. So upvote the requests that you like. And make your own requests, and that's what I'll decide. That's how I'll decide what to talk about. So, today I'm going to talk about my boarding school life. So, I went to a boarding school for my sophomore, junior, and senior years of high school. I went to Indian Springs School in Alabama. Goal! Ball, John Green, you got to finish! Oh, that's devastating. And it was a really special school. I mean, my whole life really, in some ways, was determined by that decision to go to Indian Springs. I really loved it there, and I had great friends. But mostly, I want to tell you today about my not about like all of my romantic trials and tribulations, which were many, or my many ex-girlfriends who now have to live with heavy metal band members' pseudonyms. But I want to tell you, oh gosh, Fat Lucas, you may be necessary. Nope. I want to tell you about a prank that we pulled when I was in high school. Not the famous senior prank that you may have heard about involving a stripper, but instead another prank that we pulled involving fireworks. So I don't know if fireworks are legal in Alabama, but they're definitely legal in Georgia. Other John Green! Hero of the day. We're up 1-0 on Southampton thanks to Other John Green, who's now hugging Bald John Green. John Greens love to hug each other. And that's just a great goal. He showed strength. He showed power. It reminds me of the chant. He's big, he's tough, he has a brilliant puff. Other John Green. Other John Green. Great job, Other John Green. You got songs about you, too. You may be the second most important John Green on this team, but we still love you. So what we did was we acquired a bunch of fireworks. We had this idea that we were going to light a bunch of fireworks all around the campus at the exact same moment, so that it would appear that the campus was blowing up. I should note that this was in a pre-9/11 world, but even so, it was a pretty bad idea because people hear hundreds and thousands of explosions in a matter of seconds, and they get nervous. But none of that had occurred to us at the time. We were 16, and we thought this was hilarious. So, that's just Bald John Green's just toying with you. So what we did, so we basically synchronized our watches. There were about 10 of us involved. This was in the days before cell phones. And we had several $100s in fireworks that had been purchased by one of the wealthier members of my group of friends. I won't name any names, but today he is a very wealthy. Oh, Other John Green, inspired by the chant, now has 2 goals. Will he get his hat trick? Only time will tell. His name says Jay Bennett, but we know him as Other John Green. All right, so so we had all these fireworks, and I mean, that guy is now incredibly. I think he might be a billionaire, and he has 5 kids. And anyway, but back in the day, he was someone who bought the fireworks because his family had a bit of money. So we loaded up the fireworks all over campus, and we waited until exactly midnight. And right at exactly midnight, that's not the best shot I've ever seen out of Other John Green. Right at exactly midnight, we exploded all these fireworks. Literally thousands of them, and pretty much a lot of the teachers lived on campus. And so what we did was we made sure that the fireworks were underneath the bedroom windows of pretty much every single teacher on campus. So we all lit the fuse, and then we all ran away. However, we did not anticipate the size of the response from the teachers. So what happened was that immediately the teachers were like, there may have been who knows what happened. There may have been a shooting, it may have been a bomb, it may have been fireworks, we don't know. And all of the teachers were out like immediately out of their houses. I had never seen adults move so quickly. Like I'll never forget the image of my Latin teacher like running out of his house in his underwear, like literally leaping over Roman candles, running toward a shadow, and that shadow was me. And I just remember the intense. Oh, how ball John Green finish. Oh. I just remember the intense panic of seeing a man, a grown man in his underwear, obviously very angry, running at me. Fortunately, I did smoke cigarettes in those days, but I was young. Oh, ball John Green really needed to not take a second touch there. However, we are going into the second half up 2-0 on Southampton. I should mention, by the way, that the Swindon Town Swoodley Poopers are now down 12 points in League One, largely because we've been unable to play our league games because we've been busy getting to the finals of the FA Cup, where we will shortly play Manchester United. That's pretty insane. The little Swoodley Poopers up against the great Manchester United. Oh no, that was oof. All right, stay calm. All right. So anyway, what I did was my best friend Todd and I ended up on the roof of the dorms. We were up there because we felt like if we went back into our rooms, they would see the doors open. They would see the door open to our room, and we would get caught. So we were also, I should mention, this is very important, we were all wearing black face paint. So we're up there, Todd and I are up there wearing like all black clothing and black face paint, and and my Latin teacher, who terrified me, it was like he could smell us. He kept looking in the direction where we were, and like he was so close to me that I remember closing my eyes because I was worried that he would see the whites of my eyes and that would give me away. And I mean, the teachers were like getting themselves into an absolute like fury. They were I mean, I guess it makes sense now that I have my own kid. Like if some horrible scummy little teenager set off firecrackers underneath my bedroom window at midnight and woke up my 1.5-year-old child, like I would be incensed, and I would literally have them arrested. I would have them, I would press charges, and I would try to get them to go to prison. So in retrospect, like I'm much more sympathetic to the position of my teachers than I was at the time, of course. But yeah, so come on, get it. That's good passing. That's just Swindon Town passing. That's just how the Swoodley Poopers do it. And then we score with ball John Green. Again, John Green and John Green locked in an embrace. They kind of like put their knees between each other so they can get real close. It seems unnecessary, but I like it. All right, so eventually the teachers turned around long enough for us to get off of the roof and get into our rooms. We got into our rooms, and I was feeling pretty good, actually, by Fat Lucas. You're going to be necessary. Oh, Fat Lucas, I love you. Eventually, I was feeling pretty good. I wasn't able to sleep because I was still so just like nervous and excited about everything, but I was feeling like, we were definitely going to get away with it, at least until the next day. And then that same Latin teacher, he didn't knock on our door. He just opened it. He had a pass key, so he had keys to all the rooms, and he didn't really say anything. He just turned on the lights, and he said, "I know it was you." And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about, sir. That was someone other than John Green, or John Green just scored a goal. That is almost unprecedented in the history of Swindon Town. I'd like to congratulate L. Williamson on being one of our only non-John Green goal scorers of the season." I don't know what L. Williamson's first name is, but in comments I am hoping that you guys will make a hilarious suggestion, because I have every intention of him becoming a hero to our squad. The only other regular goal scorer, of course, is Stone Cold Steve Austin with a C. Oh, that was the wrong button. Sorry, guys. So here's what. So he opens the door and he says, "I know it was you." And my roommate says, "I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I don't. Did something happen tonight? I heard a disturbance earlier, but we've been asleep and et cetera, et cetera. And then and then the Latin teacher says, Todd, if it wasn't you, how come you're wearing black face paint? And Todd and I were both like, oh, right, we should have taken off the black face paint. So, oh, teenagers. Yeah, so we were foiled by our own stupidity. By the way, that's a detail that I used in my novel Paper Towns. I have that was L. Williamson again, trying to get his second goal. I have Margot Roth Spiegelman's right at the beginning of the book. Margot Roth Spiegelman's dad. She's wearing black face paint, and that's one of the ways that he catches her trying to sneak out of the house. um, so, yeah, that's yet another example of how it can be good for you to do silly things when you're in high school. Although I have to say, I'm not kidding when I tell you that if any of you ever come to my house with firecrackers, or even in fact ever come to my house, there will be legal repercussions. I am not so kind as my Latin teacher, who merely suspended me for what I did to him. But yeah, I was in quite a bit of trouble for that, as was everyone involved. But I had to. At our school, we had something called work hours, which was that when you got punished, ball John Green. Wow, 5-0 for the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers. We may be approaching the point where I'm going to have to level up again and no longer be semi-pro, but fully pro. I just want to ball John Green. Look at that. He turns, he shoots, he scores, then he smiles with his mustache. So 5-0 for Swindon Town. A pretty impressive result by anyone's measure, I think. And now the game is over. So I had to do a lot of work hours. I had to work in the cafeteria, cooking food, cleaning dishes for a long time. And was it worth it? No. In a word, it was not. However, that's the story. That's a story from boarding school. Thank you again for coming and watching the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers dominate their competition in Southampton. Congratulations to John Green, and also to L. Williamson. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. No, I won't. I don't know how the outro goes. Best wishes.